Not our best foot forward Friday.
No.
We're in Perth. We had other priorities.
We did.
Today, we're back after a beautiful long weekend.
Beautiful, Jim.
Good.
How nice is Perth?
Beautiful.
Yep.
And great people over there looked after us superbly. Damian Barrett joins us shortly.
Damo.
Because we are back for round one, so he's back, of course.
Has he got his car back?
Oh, yeah. Oh, and it's thumping along
It might have
beautifully,
been
the Camaro.
racing, yeah.
Then I see Topics Brownless.
Yes.
See, I don't understand that. After last week, the Topics were looked after royally.
Nice.
And then Jack Crisp in the second half.
Crispy.
2 in a row BNFs, Copeland trophies
Yeah.
for the mighty Magpies. And they play Friday night against your boys. So I'm looking forward to him coming in. He's talking about the racing Saturday as well as the footy coming up Friday night. Entertainment with Hose as well. So a big show.
Big
Hello
show.
to you, Fat.
G'day, Jim. We happy with the subs we bought from America?
Well, I just wonder which bit of coastline we're going to protect. Because arguably the biggest coastline in the world.
We have.
The whole way around.
Exactly.
So what are we looking after?
No,
Where
no.
are we positioning them?
Oh, we'll just have one there at Perth and one at Brisbane. Just go up and down. That's it, Jim. We'll be right. 368 mil. Bill.
No, I'm
not
gonna
mil.
say,
Bill.
Bill, costing us a fortune.
I know. That'll come out of our taxes. I'm looking forward to this. Hello, Ryan.
Steel City being nursed in the lead by 2 and Untouchable Legend, followed by Shine Your Light, Remedies running on, and a gap back to the rest, but Steel City going boldly inside the 250 from Untouchable Legend, then Remedies, Blanc de Blanc making steady headway now, and then came August Bloom, but Steel City's getting stronger, and the filly ripping away for a big win in the Magic Night. Steel City trounces them.
So what does that mean? Does that mean it gets into a big race from here?
This Saturday in Sydney, $5 million golden slipper.
It's into the slipper.
Golden slipper.
And favourite?
No, about fourth favourite.
Oh, okay.
Drew an ugly barrier today, but that doesn't
nice
matter.
collect for the owners.
Well, nice. That was a good one on the weekend.
What did
but
it pay?
Paid $3 favourite on the weekend, but she was strong. Strong to the
Against
line.
Blanc de Blanc?
Blanc de Blanc comes second. But I tell you, so I'm going to go up to Sydney this Saturday, so I don't know if I can do the rub.
you'll be doing the rub.
I can't.
So how are you going to get to Sydney?
I'll be having, I've got a
Bill,
golden slipper
There's
on.
only 4 of us on the rub now.
Oh, well, there's 3.
So there's
Then there
Bernie,
were 3.
yourself, Damo and myself. And we can't go down to a 3-manner.
Yes,
So
we
you are on.
Well, I'm
Stuff
from
your horse.
Sydney. Might even be out at the race course. Might even have a
No, you
chat
won't.
to Steel City.
You won't be.
Whap, whap.
Now on Triple M's Rush Hour,
We've also got this, a nice little whappy.
it's Billy's All Sports Report.
Footy is back, Jim. 2 more nights. Wowee. What about round 1? Carlton, Richmond, and then you got Geelong, Collingwood, and some very interesting games from there
Talk
on
to
in.
Damo about them in a minute. Yes.
Tim Membry has been ruled out for Sunday's round 1 clash.
What with?
He's got just a little injury there.
Injury. Yep. Well, Damo's in to talk
Yes.
footy, so you don't have to
All right.
go through all
well,
that.
Jake Stringer's out too for Essendon.
Thank you, Bill.
Also, there's been a couple of signings. Is he going to talk about
All of that.
Righto.
He's here to talk footy.
Let's talk about the cricket then.
Go on.
Because India have retained the Border Gavaskar Trophy, of
Which
course.
they did 2 test matches ago.
They
yeah.
did, but it fizzled out to a draw. Only 22 wickets fell, Jim, for the whole test. Yeah, too many runs. So they've gone from one end to the other. They've gone from
One
a
extreme
spinning.
to the other. Is that
That's
what
the
you
word.
think, yeah.
It just wasn't good enough, was it?
Thank you, Bill.
Travis
well done
Head.
to Travis Head.
Yes.
Proving a lot of people wrong every time he strides to the crease. Interesting to see what they do with him in England.
'cause
For
it
me,
moves around.
back into the middle order for
Yes,
me.
right.
And set him loose.
Yeah.
Just go
Let him play.
charge after him.
Virat Kohli was named man of the match. He got
About
100.
time he made 100 too.
Yeah.
Been years.
Slow.
Yeah.
But anyway, where they lost to Jim, the second test. Remember, they lost 8 for 28.
Yes, I do, Bill.
They blew up. That's good night
And they were in
then.
a very good spot in that game prior to that.
I tell you, we're poor too. Melbourne Storm, they got thumped at home by the
Rugby
Bulldogs.
League.
They were poor in the first half and did Bellyache give them a nice old-fashioned
Short
whackety
back and
whack.
sides.
Yes, he did. They play the Titans this Saturday afternoon. So let's
sure?
Yes. What about the Dolphins, Wayne Bennett's
Yes.
side? That no one. It was
No.
$501.
Start-up.
Yeah, start-up team. They're 2 and zip.
2 and zip.
2 and zip. The basketball, Jimmy, it's 2-2 there now. New Zealand Breakers defeated Sydney Kings over there, 80-70 over the weekend. So it's do or die game 5 at 7:30 tomorrow night.
Wildcats.
No. It's Sydney.
Hutchie's
Sydney-
mob.
No. They were in
I'll
the
just
finals.
keep an eye on them. That's all.
Sydney Kings,
We've
New
just
Zealand
been in
Breakers.
Perth. Is there some disquiet over there about that?
Oh, I don't know. Well, Jim, anyway, game 5 tomorrow night. That will be a beauty.
Yes.
Scotty Scheffler has retained his number 1 spot with a Players' Championship win.
One easy. One with a leg in the air.
What happened with
Scotty
our
Scheffler.
man, Ming Wu
Yeah, he
Lee?
fell away. Had a 4-over final round.
Chipped
and,
into the
I think
water for about-
Tied for 6th. But still, he's a star. I
Yeah.
said he will win a major, that young man.
But what about the big news in golf over
the
the
international series in Thailand, my man Wade Ormsby,
weekend? Orms?
the one with the dirty mo, Bill, he has won in a playoff and booked himself a spot in the Hong Kong Open, which he's won twice before.
Wow.
So out of Liv, we're going to go and chat to him in a couple of weeks. We're
Tuesday
flying to
week.
Adelaide.
To play golf.
We are, and going to chat to the star. So it's his 4th win on that tour, and well done to him. I think pocketed about half a mil.
Good on you, Orms.
And he and Marcus Fraser afterwards had a nice celebration.
They had a lot of froth.
I think they did. Yeah. Well, as you bloody should. You don't win that often in golf.
Exactly right, Jim. And one more. It was a big day at the zoo in Sydney on Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
The boxing. Did you see this? Timmy Zoo. Too good. Finished him off in the 9th round. This is Harrison. Should have been stopped earlier.
Yes.
He was just going to town, old Timmy Zoo. Kept his undefeated record intact, 22 and zip, 16 KOs. And you see him after it, what he was yelling out. What's my mother name? I just beat the man who beat the man. What does that make me?
yeah.
Oh, he was up and about.
Well, because Bill, the other boy Harrison was talking a lot of pre-fight trash.
A lot, you're
and,
right.
I think Timmy took it personally.
Yes, he
and
did.
so he bloody should.
He didn't know his name, but Jimmy forgot it.
Brutal mauling, it's been described.
Well, it was. Earlier in the card, Nikita had a win too.
Yes.
The zoos are on fire.
They are.
Nice zoo at Sydney.
Yeah, right. Oh, right. That's the end. So we'll have a little spell
I think
at the end of the Wrappy.
I think so. Damian's ready to come in. Look at him out there. He looks good.
He does. Purple, nice to see you for the first time.
Nice to see. I saw you relatively
Yeah,
recently,
socially,
Jim,
but not,
socially, a couple of times
not
actually,
at
but
work.
haven't seen you for a while.
No.
Fat.
Oh, thank you, Damo. No, I've been here in G-Town. What have you been doing, Damian?
I've been just gearing up for what's going to be a pretty good season, Bill. And I can't believe, and you were talking about this before, the matchups in round one.
Now, quickly go through them. Richmond Carlton, we all blockbuster. We love that.
Yep.
Geelong Collingwood.
Huge.
North West Coast Eagles, intriguing. Both teams won 2 games each last year. Port Brisbane, always a good game, over in Adelaide, of course. Melbourne Bulldogs is going to be a corker.
Yes.
Sun Sydney up there at Gold Coast. They're hard to beat early on, as we know. Giants Adelaide, good game. Giants are favourite, but Adelaide's form's been okay. Hawthorn Essendon don't like each other. And then to finish it off, Rossline Cup, St Kilda Freo.
Going Freo.
Well done, AFL. That is a magnificent round one.
And your team, Bill, may not have the 2 best forwards in the game. With Tom
Brownless and
Hawkins
Ablett.
already out and Jerry McCameron considering,
Well, Tom
rightly,
Hawkins
to
is-
not play at all because of his wife being pregnant.
Baby.
Yeah.
But Tom Hawkins is not out yet. He's training okay, isn't he? Has he been officially...
I'd be staggered if he played for what it's worth. Now, again, they could still name him and play him, but to
Sub
me,
him.
Jim, I just think it would go against what they were about last year. They learned, and they've taken the lessons out of last year when they had Dangerfield injured and they extended his stay on the sidelines, got him right, and look at the benefit they got out of that during the course of the finals.
So if the baby's a live, a threat to happen, which would be wonderful for Jezza and his beautiful family.
would be.
Why wouldn't you sit him as the sub?
Hawkins, you're talking about?
So
I
if
suppose
he
it
has to
does
leave-
bring that dynamic in, doesn't it? I wouldn't play Cameron if the possibility is he could leave at half time. I think you're either going to play and complete the game, or if you have the decision that has to be made, you don't play. And I mean that's a common decision footballers make these days, isn't it? But we haven't seen one start the game and then
This is a man
finish
that
it
had
early.
cows delivered to his house at 10:30 the night
Yeah.
before a grand final.
That's a
So
good
thinks
point.
differently.
So it's a man who
does
put
Jezza.
the medallion, the
On
premiership
the-
medallion on the cow
On the
the
cow.
next
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
Saturday night, Sunday morning.
So
the
he's
next
a different
afterwards.
unit.
He's a different
So
unit. So
he could well say, "I'll just take off at half time,
No.
and Hawk, you just bring it home."
Exactly. You can see...
He could do that.
We asked Jezzo, we said, what
Yeah.
do you like? You love your fishing, you love your shooting, you love your farm, you love your golf and footy.
Yeah.
What do you rank them? He had footy at 4. You see what he said? He said football gets in the road.
And Bill, I would argue he's the most important player in the entire competition. In fact, I think he's the best player, isn't he? I mean, what he
well-
did last year was extraordinary.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah.
Now, what do we do with pre-season form? We always tip into it, and then we always think, geez, they looked ordinary and they were good.
Yeah.
Or, gee, more often than not, gee, they look good, and then they start the home and away. But I had a good look today because I've got the games coming up at both Richmond and Carlton, and my goodness, they would not want to bring that to round one, either of them.
I shouldn't admit this, Jim, given I've done this game for about 30 years or so now. I don't pay any... I watch it, but I don't factor it into my thinking.
No, and I don't think you should.
Yeah.
I don't think you should because we've all been proven so wrong in the past. But the intensity for both of them, the ball was moved on them both too easily. Mind you, they both play bloody good sides.
Yeah.
Melbourne and Sydney, I think we all think are going to be...
Yes.
where the whips are cracking.
You think so,
But I reckon both Vossi and Dimmer would be going, all right, that's a nice bloody whack around the ears just before we go into this game. So I don't know who's going to win that on the back of what I saw today.
Again, for what it's worth, and it is only for what it's worth, I'm going to tip Carlton in that one. I'm just not as sold on Richmond as some. Now, I know they've brought in Taranto and Hopper as their two main ones. Good players. They're really good players.
Out of sight, out of mind. We haven't seen how good they really are.
Yeah, but I look at it, Bill.
That's some nice Giants respect from Bill.
No, it's
They've only been in finals and grand finals and things like that.
No, but we go over to Perth and they all talk about how good their players are. We don't probably give them the respect, do we, here in Melbourne?
Well, you don't because you're
some
just
of us do
focused.
try to watch 9 games a week.
I've never seen them play.
Oh, no. Have a listen to Bill. But you'll get 90,000 of that. Will be superb. Lots of, if not money, certainly tipsters coming for the Pies.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because the Cats have done nothing wrong, only won the flag.
No. Pies are at good odds,
and
good value.
I mean, as we go back to that final series of last year where they fell short by a kick against Geelong in the qualifying final and then Collingwood then fell short by 1 point only against Sydney in the prelim final. So, I mean, their form absolutely stacked up. And I spoke with Craig McRae late last week, and he's obviously very excited, Jim, about what lies ahead. And he just feels that organically they're going to develop. Now, that's yet to be seen. And he acknowledges those close results that all went their way last year. Had they had 2 or 3 of them not gone their way, they would have missed the finals. But he's banking on the improvement coming so those games aren't close. And, they're a fascinating storyline because you don't rate them, Bill.
I think they could drop out of the 8.
Out of the 8?
That's a big call, isn't it?
Because they won so many close games, Jim.
Well, that's a good sign.
What is it?
Yes.
It doesn't mean they're going to do it again.
Well, it doesn't mean they get...
So
they mightn't have to do it this year.
Someone's going to have to drop out because someone's going to come in.
They played in the prelim.
I know, and I love the way
out of the 8.
I'm not telling Crispy when's he coming.
Don't mention that to Crispy.
No. But I just, someone's got to drop out. And I say them.
You're right in that, Bill. I've got 10 teams. So the 8 finalists of last year, and then Carlton and Port Adelaide. So look, for the exercise that we do in media, only because we have to, because it's just a guess. Let's admit it's a guess. I've got Carlton and Port Adelaide coming into the 8, and that then for
who's
Bill,
coming out?
I've got Richmond and Western Bulldogs out.
Western Bulldogs.
Yeah, again, I'm not as sold on them as others. I think Dunkley's loss is big, and I don't think that people realise how big it's going to be until we start seeing the games. I'm not, again, convinced that Liam Jones is going to solve the problem.
He'll be handy.
Down back. The forward line's intriguing as any storyline going into the year, and the 4 big boys. Well, he's an established star. He's played 100 games, and I absolutely love him too. And Sam Darcy, you just know, with 4 games only behind him, he's still going to have effect this year. And Jamara's ready to break out.
Back, Sam Darcy.
Say again?
I can't beve they won't play him back.
They might have to.
Sit him back behind the footy, let him jump third up, let him do that for his first 20 or 30 games. I mean,
like De Koning last year.
Just because he's beautiful at it, and your body then doesn't cop the pounding it'll get forward to the ball. Anyway, that's for Bevo to work out.
Yeah, I've got 5 that can win it, 5 that'll finish on the bottom, who we think of, and then I've got unknown 5.
Oh, what's your unknown 5?
The unknown unknowns.
Well, I don't know what happened to the other 3. But anyway, the unknown 5.
It's only 15.
Yeah. So the unknown 5 for me. Freo, unknown. Not sure what they're going to do.
Yeah.
Port Adelaide, not sure what they're going to do. Collingwood, Adelaide, and Gold Coast.
Okay.
They're my unknowns.
Yeah.
What are they going to do?
Well, I am sure what Collingwood are going to do. The only reason they won't be good again this year is if they get injury, and they haven't got any at the moment. Lipinski's the only
beautiful.
Yeah.
So I've got much more faith in them. I think their game stacks right up as we saw in the final series last year.
I think to your point, Jim, that De Goey has probably become as settled as he's ever been inside the AFL system. Now, again, that can change in a weekend with him, as we know. Yep. But right now, he's put the body of work in, and I know they're quietly confident that this is going to be the absolute year. Because you had the 22 final series with his 18 final series. Yeah. That's the best big game player we've seen for some time. Well, Dusty's out of that conversation. He's by himself. But take him out of it, he's the next best.
I agree with that. And a big game for the Dogs, talking about the Dogs. Because Melbourne are up and about.
They're hungry.
Yep. And their off-season, they reckon, has been superb.
No, it has. They are hungry.
He's eating air. Yeah. We're going to get to Damo with more after this. So we got a bit of news to get through. St
do.
Kilda, big injury issues before the season even starts.
There was a conditioning element to the release yesterday, I felt, Jim, with a raft of names on it. And key St Kilda people, we knew King was going to be out for some time with what he's got with his shoulder, but Membry was touch and go in a narrative sense. Well, he's now out, and it maybe not just be round one with the complications to the knee that he's had. Billings we've known out for some time. Windhager's got that hand injury, which has him in doubt. And he's Caulfield's out as well already, yeah. Ross is sore. Zach Jones is out. So
Jack Hayes.
Yeah, Hayes who can't get in. And so you could have a situation where you've got one of the supplementary players, Comaniti, coming in, along with Mateus Philippou, who's got big raps on him as a draftee from last year. And, I mean, they need that, don't they? But there was, I hate to say it, a form of conditioning, I think, just to the competition, maybe their own supporters, that, Ross is back and we're excited and we're going to go okay and we'll get it right by the end of the year, but it's just going to be some hard yards early.
You get a sinking feeling in clubland when that happens because you then think, right, these blokes are not only going to miss a lot of footy at the start of the year or some footy at the start of the year, but they're then going to need conditioning to get back up to match speed, and that could be halfway through the season before you're even close to putting your best foot forward.
Yeah.
It's never a good sign.
No,
you don't want injuries this time of year.
They give me the impression, though, they're going to use this year to work out who Ross wants to keep, and that's just what a new coach will do. He's kept them all and has decided to keep them all. But come the end of the year, he's going to make changes. And you also know, too, with the combination of Gubby Allen and Stephen Silvani operating in that footy club behind the scenes, Jim, you know that they are going to have already made approaches to some key players.
Which is good. They need to do. They've got to do that.
Yep.
The concussion. I read today, Maxi Rook is leading a class action against the AFL. Where are we at with this concussion? And is this another lot as compared to the guys that come out about 2 weeks ago?
It's the same one as 2 weeks ago, but it's probably a different set of players built to the previously publicly sort of mentioned group. So it's a class action. Max Rook is the main name of it at this stage that we know of. Some of the timings on this go back to the 80s even, all the way through to the now. There's seeking for medical expenses over the journey. There's loss of income over the effect of, as they are arguing, the concussion on it and other expenses attached to it, loss of future earnings. So where it sits, to me, it's one of the two issues that just doesn't have an end point to it. The other one being the Hawthorn racism situation, which even when the AFL releases the findings of the independent panel's report into its own look into this situation, there's going to be litigation that spins off it. I would argue for years, and maybe a dozen or so years, a bit similar to the never-ending element to this Essendon drug saga. Yeah. So the complexity to it is significant, and as we know, with Gillan McLachlan still as recently as last week, Jim and Bills, saying that it was going to be end of round 5 when he does officially step away, there's ongoing issues for the
this thing was, what was it meant to be, a fortnight after the season? Then it was meant to be Christmas. Then it was meant to be by round 1. We still haven't heard a thing.
No.
And the Hawks are an interesting watch. I mean, obviously they've got a new coach and a very inexperienced list, so interesting to see how they go there. But I get the feeling there's not a lot of friends at high levels for the Hawks.
Your feeling is accurate. I would argue there's 17 other clubs who have got varying degrees of being furious with Hawthorn over this situation. Now, the two main ones are North Melbourne, where Alistair Clarkson now resides, and Brisbane Lions. And even to that point, I mean, Greg Swan, the Chief Executive Officer of the Lions, had a very tense verbal moment with Justin Reeves, the CEO of Hawthorn, on Grand Final Day last year over this very issue when Reeves said, "How are you going?" And he said, "Well, how do you reckon I'm going?" And there were a few other words attached to that statement. And it was tense. A lot of people saw it. And Swanee's not naturally that way. But now that was fresh. That was the week it broke. But I can tell you the tensions between a lot of clubs at Hawthorn. There was good intent in their establishment of the inquiry into the racism, Jim, but the execution of it has left most people in footy outside of Hawthorn with a lot of questions.
Well, not only that, but then you hear this narrative start to bubble away in the off-season that this needs to be expanded out into a whole competition issue. If I'm sitting at Fremantle or Port Adelaide, I'm going, hang on a minute, this has got nothing to do with us. This is your problem that you need to solve, but don't include us in it. We're running our own club with our own set of circumstances that have got bugger all to do with this. So I don't blame clubs for getting a bit annoyed about it.
And even the timings of it, when we did delve deeper into it, the 2008 to 16 period is the time in question. And I asked the question, why not before 2008? And certainly why not after 2016? And look, a lot of people have got a lot of theories on why that was the time frame, and clearly now you've got Chris Fagan and Alistair Clarkson who are going to defend themselves officially,
And so they should.
and beyond the official nature of it, how it looks and what sanctions. One thing I did get out of Gillan McLaughlin, speaking to him last week, Jim, he said there's going to be full transparency on the 4-person panel, and I got the feeling that every word that they submit to the AFL would be made public. Now, whether that stays the case, that's what he said.
What about the sub? So we're changing from a medical sub, which is good because that in the end was a bit farcical.
Yeah, it was. It was rorted, wasn't it?
Yeah. So now we've just got a sub you can put in whenever you want.
Whenever you want. Yeah, a minute into the game
So
or
medical or whatever it may be.
whatever is
Is there a baby sub for Jeremy?
But you can.
You can, because it's in it.
Whatever you want.
Righto, good.
Yep.
Good. Righto.
Well, yeah, if that's the reason you take him out of the game for that particular day, it would be a baby sub.
Well, that'd be interesting. Round one, bang. That is good. Now, a common sense decision was made last week, and I like this. The prison bar jumper.
Yeah.
Port Adelaide wear it in their home game against Adelaide. Yes.
showdown.
Yeah,
Showdown.
I reckon they should wear it however many times they want.
Well, at least this is a start.
Yeah.
So well done to Collingwood.
Yep,
Jeffrey Brown.
Jeffrey Brown, and well done. That's a good decision.
I like
Yeah.
that. To me, it's
So
kind
it never happened because Ed just was stubborn and said, no. Was that it?
That was a large reason for it,
Yeah,
and
right.
he will do that with pride too, as
No,
you know.
that's
And,
right.
and Collingwood people supported that move, but as a neutral, I couldn't see
No,
it.
but see, for me, Purple, I don't quite agree. I think the showdowns, they should be able to wear it both home and away.
Yeah,
Those two
yeah,
games, they
those
should be able to
two
wear it
games.
then.
And just leave it
the
there.
rest of the time,
That's
they wear
right.
their standard jumper, and I think that's a bloody good result.
And they'd probably be happy with that.
I reckon they would,
Port.
because
Yeah.
that's what it's all about, the hometown rivalry, and their fans get to go to Adelaide
Yep.
Oval and watch them wear that jumper.
But we don't
so
want
well
them-
done to Brownie and
Yeah.
probably Fat Ed Ned.
Yeah.
Because they probably needed to move a little bit on it, but they have. It's
That's
good.
right. But you don't want them coming now, Port, and say, oh, can we use it round one? And can we do it? They use it twice and that's it. Don't come again. Don't come knocking again. That's it.
All right.
Out.
Okay. How do you reckon Ned Kelly's going down there, Jim?
I don't know enough yet. I
saw
need
him the
to-
other day.
I need to wait and see if there's a blow up.
Yeah, wait. He'll
That's what I'm saying.
He'll do
Some
something.
stage. Old cement. He'll be swaggering. I'll tell you what, if they're 5-1, he'll be swaggering around like he's actually playing for him.
And if they're 1-5,
Then he'll leave it around. Hey, what else? Purple, before we let you go. Anything else we need to
bubbling
cover off?
away there.
Yeah. Who have you got for the flag, Jim? Just before
Melbourne.
we go. You got Melbourne. Yeah, okay.
I think they are cherry ripe, Melbourne. And as Bill said, they've got gravel in their guts because they buggered last year up the back end of it. I think the mail out of it is they are flying on the track, and obviously the pre-season form's been amazing. And I think their best 22 is as talented, if not more talented, than anyone else's.
With Brody Grundy.
Yeah.
And even
He
Lockie
went
Hunter
well
is
too
going to be
for
a
him.
handy player.
You'd
for
think so,
him.
wouldn't you?
Oh, yeah. He's going to be handy.
I just like Brisbane's ability to win 2 finals last year and then to bring in
Can they win
Gunston.
here?
Yeah, well, they can, Bill. Yeah, I mean,
Can they?
then to bring, well, they don't have to play you too often either, as you well know. But the Gunston acquisition, the Dunkley recruit,
and
we know
Ashcroft.
that Ashcroft is going to be a version, and maybe even better, possibly if you believe it, than Dacos last year. So to
So
me,
that
the
midfield,
three.
Neil,
Yep.
McCluggage, Bailey, Lyons, Zorko, Josh
Very-
Dunkley, Will Ashcroft. It's not a bad midfield.
Pretty good,
mate.
yeah.
And their forward line, we need to see Joey Danaher do a bit more, and even Eric.
Gunston, though, Bill. Gunston's going
He'll
to be huge in that.
I'd be great for
Huge
him.
in that,
But
yep.
you'd like to see those. And then down back was always the worry because Marcus Adams is out for the year.
Yeah.
So that's their only concern.
But I think you'll find Harris Andrews is not injured as I think he was for the past 2 years. So.
All right.
Yeah.
Purple, concise
Yes.
and
How's
very
your
good
car?
as always.
You got your car back?
I got the car back.
You could
yes.
race in the V8, you know that.
What about
They
Fat?
were racing on the weekend in Newcastle, the Camaros. Yeah.
What about Fat already trying to say he's going to Sydney for the races Saturday?
I
and
heard
won't
this
be a
before.
part of the rub.
So we're
No,
a
he'll be
soldier
here.
down anyway,
No,
are we?
no. We're a soldier down, and he will be here.
Will he?
Make no doubt about
He
that.
gave us no care. In fact, he walked out
They
twice
did
last year.
to go and do a cashier in
That's right.
Launceston.
Well, guess what? Sydney again. And I'm no soldier, Lou.
No, that's true. I love him. We love him. He's one of ours.
He is.
Back to back, as you said, Rabbits, and that is a fine achievement. Crispy, welcome to you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much for having me.
Oh, this is big. Friday night's enormous.
Oh,
It's enormous and crispy.
crispy.
Can I, before Fat starts speaking, can I beg of you something?
What?
Do a number on the Cats so he can shut his fat gob. We've had
Yeah,
6
no.
months having to put up with him.
Yep, we owe him. I remember talking to you, Bill, before the final as well when we were out. So I think we were doing an ambassador role.
That's
And
right,
We're having
yeah.
a bit of trash talk then, and
Yeah.
unfortunately didn't get the chockies.
So who was right?
Unfortunately, it was you, mate.
It
But
was only a couple of points, in it,
mate, I
yeah.
tell you,
we'll get him.
that final, that was one of the hardest watches ever when it was only went down to 6 points. And then, of course, you had a good win. And then you lost by a point. So I tell you what we love, Crispy, all jokes aside, when Craig McRae come in last year, I don't know if he come in, but he was in here in the studio. And he said, and this is all before round one, he said, we're not going to go backwards. We're not going sideways. We're going to play attacking football, bold football. And it was great to watch, mate. And you would hear that all the time now, which is great.
Yeah, no, we've definitely got that feedback a number of times over the course of the year, and it's a great brand of football that we're playing, and it's exciting. It's enjoyable to watch. I think we got a lot more fans on the way.
Good to
the
play.
way we played. Yeah, it's just really enjoyable to be a part of.
Yeah, exactly right. And we loved it. We loved it. We actually, a lot of people who didn't like Collingwood actually like Collingwood
You
now.
couldn't not, Bill.
Yeah.
You got Lipinski, probably the only one you want to pick that you can't. But what interests me is Dan McStay, Bobby Hill, Tom Mitchell, of course, and potentially Billy Frampton. So you're adding to an already very good team.
Yeah, and those boys have really brought their strengths and what we got them to the club for. Billy hopefully will complement Darcy and Howie down back really well in the air. Tommy Mitchell obviously in the guts, we know what he can do, and the ball accumulator. And then up forward, different ways to attack the goal through Bobby and Dan.
Will they all play this Friday night?
Yeah.
Let's go through them. McStay, been good, he plays.
Yeah, 100%. No, there's no reason none of them wouldn't play.
Ooh.
They've put their hand up for selection all over pre-season and played the last 2 pracky games. So, I wouldn't put it past it at all.
Wow, that's
That's good.
Bloody hell.
9 new captains for season
Yes,
2023
I know.
across the comp. And you have one of them in Darcy Moore, who we've all admired enormously as a player. How's he gone about the early captaincy role?
Yeah, going very well. The good thing is about the club and the position that we're in at the moment. It's we've got names to leadership group and captain and stuff like that. But the way we've progressed as a whole football club, we've got a number of guys stepping up in leadership roles to help ease the path for each player. So he's doing really well so far. And obviously we can't wait to crack in. And he's got away with words even for the practice games. He was. No, I just felt like it was really getting me up
Who,
and
Darcy?
about. Yeah.
So he speaks well. That's good.
Yeah,
to
he
hear.
speaks very well, very well.
Who did you think he was talking about?
No, he's got good hair. What about his
Change the
hair when he
subject.
takes it out? So he's that's interesting that he gets you up and going, Dars.
That's it, Bill. Yeah.
That's what you want.
I haven't heard him speak too much yet, really. Heard him the other day at a presser when there was a bit of trouble there, and he spoke beautifully there when little mate, who was it? Got in a bit of trouble from Castlemaine.
Yeah. He speaks very well.
Yeah, exactly.
He's got away with his words.
Oh, good. That's good to hear.
It's going to be good.
And leads well from the front, plays well.
Yeah, well, technically he's leading from the back. He's a defender.
That's it, Bill, yeah.
Leads from the front and the back. Yes, good work. Well done. But it's a big game. It's just great to be back in there because Thursday night will be huge. There'll be 90 there, Jim.
Oh, yeah, huge.
And then Friday
Friday's
night there'll
enormous.
be 90.
I'm sure you're right, Bill. Let me ask you about this. Scotty Pendlebury, I think, has 40 odd games to get to 400.
Yeah, was he 360?
Yeah, so he's a couple of seasons away from a milestone he would richly deserve.
Yeah.
You reckon he's got that in him? Does he want to do that?
2 seasons.
Yeah, 100%. And obviously, we'll see the way the club goes this year, but we're in a really good position to contend for the flag in the next couple of years. So I have no doubt that he'd want to be a part of that. He's had a fantastic journey so far, and will be a great way to finish off 400 games, a couple of flags.
Oh, yeah.
Geez, that sounds nice, doesn't it?
Well, what about Jordan De Goey? Caught up with him a couple of times.
How many times has Bill mentioned this, by the way?
I know.
So
Well, we're
Bill runs
mates.
into Jordan De Goey at a party.
Yeah.
And has a 5-minute chat to
No,
him. And
we're-
now
yeah.
it's as if they grew up together, been on every holiday together, bloody
BFF.
shared a room at school.
But we've had photos to take together because a few people noticed me they didn't. Notice. But anyway, you put your arm around him. He's a bull. He is a bull, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a big boy. I think he's about my height, nearly 6'3". Real solid, and that's why he's really good in the contest and leads well up forward and very dangerous, breaks tackles.
Hungry, is he? Ready to go?
Yeah, he's very fit too. He's
Yeah.
put in a pair of work and he's moving really well.
How are you, by the way? You going all right? Do you have any injuries at all? You've played 188 games in a row.
Ties Andy Collins this weekend, I think, into 8th position all
How
time.
do you do that?
Yeah.
You ask that question
Shut
every
up.
time.
Every
he's on the
single
show.
time. Yep.
I put in a fair bit of work over the pre-season, obviously. Looked after very well. Great physios, osteos. Simon Annings, my head physio.
Simo.
Yeah, we love him.
boy.
Doing a pair of work behind the scenes to make sure I'm right and ready to go. And then obviously not missing any training as well, so I'm feeling fit.
Jeez, and
But you
looking
must-
slim too, isn't he?
Well,
These skinnies would be
just
bugger all,
yeah.
unlike yours.
I ate a donut with me before.
Oh, of course you did.
You must.
I didn't eat a donut, by the way.
We are off to a break. We need to talk All-Star Mile, you two, next.
Oh yes, please.
Fat
This
Picture
Saturday,
knows about the Nags.
$5 million race at Moonee Valley.
More Jack Crisp next on the Rush Hour. Jack Crisp will be at the G on Friday night against the Cats, and on
Yes.
Saturday he'll be at the Valley Bill for the All-Star Mile.
Spot on, Billy, Jim, and Crispy. Thanks to Daniel's Donuts, very much indeed. Now,
He's even throwing a sponsor in.
let's talk about the $5 million, if you don't mind. $3 million to the first place getter, Jim. All-Star Mile. It's this Saturday at Moonee Valley. You're an ambassador.
Yes, correct.
Tell the people what it's all about.
Yeah, so it's one of the biggest races of the year, and it's voted by the fans. So they obviously got to vote on which horses they would like to see racing in the All-Star Mile. So it's down to 15 now, and I think one lucky race goer will be the winner and get to be an ambassador owner for the horse. I think it's Aegon.
Yep.
Yeah, with a chance to win $250,000.
Spot on. They get the trackside, but if Aegon gets up, they win $250,000. So what happens? The people decide the top 10 horses, Jim, and then the 5 wild cards come into it. And the barrier draw was on today. You were out there, Crispy?
Yes.
How'd
it was
that go?
Nice and hot. Yeah, it was good to be there. Chris Judd was there as well for his horse, my Oberon, I think
Yeah,
it was.
My
yeah,
Oberon,
and
yep.
then Isaac Smith was out there as well.
What was he doing out there?
Yeah, he's an
He's got nothing to do with it. Oh, Normie Smith.
he's an ambassador as well. So yeah, it was. I can't. That's so funny.
He would have no idea,
No.
Isaac. None.
You know what? I had to do a thing the other day with Danger.
Yes.
In the lead up to 7 doing Friday night. And I said to him, unfortunately, we didn't have the cameras rolling. I said to him, you're filthy about the Norm, aren't you? He goes, yep.
Yeah.
He goes, seriously, how does an outside runner get the biggest award on the day when someone has to go and get it time after time after time? I'm looking at him going, Danger, relax.
No. If you watch the
that was
game
you saying
again,
that.
he was best on ground.
Easily.
But Isaac did kick 3 and it started off beautifully. So
We're
who do
not
you
talking about Geelong here.
No,
Well,
that's
he
my
brought
fault.
it up.
That's my fault, Rebs.
Who wins it? Who do you think, please, Crispus?
My Oberon, you talking about? Or?
No, the All-Star. Who
Also,
wins it?
I'm going Nugget. I'm backing in the Nugget. Yeah,
All right.
he's had a good couple of wins of late at about 1,600 metre run. So yeah, he'll be really good and be a major player in the race.
What about you, Fat?
Kieran David Eustace also training a good one up in Sydney on Saturday.
Have a listen to this. Where are you leaning?
I'm going Alligator Blood. Drew beautifully. Barrier 7. Or just go to the front and good luck. Good night. She's home.
Jack Crisp, we're speaking to Star from Collingwood. I'm reading my sheet here, Crisper, and it says attended every red card event in Melbourne over summer. Is this true?
Yeah, I've been to a few.
I
Does
opened
it
the
actually
fridge
say that
door.
on your sheet?
Yeah,
I can
look.
see a photo of me and my wife there.
I know. And I opened the fridge door before and you popped out.
Phil rolling with one. Phil getting one out. Speaking of Crisp.
Yeah.
No. Now, how is the Dale too? Because and she goes along with you. You're very tight, which is great.
Yeah.
How many kids you got?
Now, I've got 2 kids.
Yeah.
Lila's 5 and Sloane's 3.
Yep.
Yeah, it's been probably a bit of hard work trying to get some babysitters for a lot of these things, but we've been enjoying the social life over summer. Yeah, it's been wonderful.
What to give us? Run it down. What have you been attending?
Oh, it's too many, but last week we went to 2 fashion shows, which is great.
What was that like? What's the new fashion this year?
Oh, don't go. with
Citrus?
Oh, it's a bit of everything, to be honest with you.
Not much.
You attend the shows and there's things left, right and centre, things you think you know and then things you don't know. But I got to wear some nice snazzy suits.
Phil. Oh,
so, yeah.
courtely
of politics. Yeah,
Oh,
feel
nice.
like look nice and sharp. So yeah, appreciate
nice.
that. Thank you.
And tennis, I understand you rolled into.
Yes, yeah, did that too. That was nice. With the Emirates marquee, that was pretty good. Front row seats there. Looked after very well.
Listen to Crisper.
Polo?
Courtesy
We
of
go
the
to
footy
polo?
club there. Yeah, sorry, I was an ambassador of the polo too.
What the hell? This is a Myrtleford bogan.
I know.
Who's suddenly taken Melbourne by storm.
Yeah, I know. We wouldn't read about it, would you? So that's why I've been,
Wouldn't
been out
know
and
where
about.
Myrtleford is now, would you? You get back there?
Yeah,
To your old roots?
actually went back. We had a 4-day break. Went back over last weekend. It was nice. Sit
nice
back,
up
sit in
there.
the hammock, have a quiet cup of tea.
What about? Now, I don't know.
I'd
If
say
I,
beer, but I wanted to be nice.
Yeah.
I don't know if I speak for you and Juzzy Fat, but I'll tell you what happens at our joint. And I really hope Lisa's not listening.
What?
Things like that. She says to
okay.
me.
Gee,
She goes, why don't we ever get invited to any of these? And I go, no, babe, I'm getting, in my late 40s. That sort of those days are past.
You get cranky.
Little does she know.
That you do get invited.
No.
I know. Jim hits it on the head here at work.
I don't ever
So
need her to
if
find
Lisa's
out.
listening
Crispy.
to this, you're stuffed,
I
Jim.
don't need her finding out that no is the answer. But you're a young and handsome couple, so I'm glad you're doing
Yeah,
that.
making the most of it.
Any good joints you recommend?
Oh, I went to a new restaurant down in St Kilda there. I forget what it's called, but the whole menu was celiac and gluten-free as well, which you wouldn't even know. Yeah, so it was actually surprising and it was very delicious.
All right, Hose will get onto
Yeah,
that.
we'll find out what the name of that is.
She is
Hose
St Kilda.
She knows St Kilda backwards.
Hey, did you talk to Brody Grundy?
No, I actually haven't spoken to him
Oh.
for a while. Yeah,
Oh.
no,
Well, just had a
no
rift.
bad blood. Just he's out from the club. I thought don't have time for you. No, just kidding.
What about,
Just kidding. No, I don't. I just haven't really spoken to him yet.
what about poor old Ollie that had to go home? He was homesick.
Yeah, to Geelong.
Where did I see him? Saw him at the airport
Yeah.
and we were flying to Tassie the other week.
Good
Had a
boy.
good chat to him there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
nice
Old
boy.
Whiskers.
Oh, Whiskers.
Yeah, that's what we called him when he was.
Right,
born
I don't know
back
if
in
he's
the
got
day.
whiskers down
Yeah,
there.
that's the thing.
Not whiskers down there. He's got
Oh, thank you,
whiskers
Bill.
down at Geelong.
What are you do? You're now talking about a man's Rubik's Cube. Bill,
Whiskers down there, Jim.
Oh, God,
seriously, what sort of a setup before he's bringing Crispy
Anyway,
into?
we'll start the interview in a minute, Crispy.
We'll finish. Now, Bill, tomorrow,
who?
Isaac Cumming from
Good
the
player.
GWS Giants, very good player, halfback flanker,
Yeah,
and Jay-Z Clark.
Jay-Z.
Middle of the week, short week, middle of the week, in he comes.
Damo today and Jay-Z, who got a mention at 5:05, or even 6 at 5:05. Yeah.
I like it. Now, Bill,
Yes.
finished with a good joke in Perth.
Yes.
So you finished the week well after being poor.
What was that one? No one can
I just remember it got some plastic. So what do we got today?
A good one.
End the day with a laugh.
I have a joke.
This is Billy's joke.
All right, here we go.
A guy sits down at the bar, Jim, Cremorne Hotel, maybe, I don't know, and orders drink after drink after drink.
Mm-hmm.
Is everything okay, pal? Says the bartender. Me and the wife got into a fight, and she said she isn't talking to me for a whole month. Trying to put a positive spin on it, the bartender says, well, maybe that's a good thing, mate. You know, a little peace and quiet. Yeah, but today is the last day.
See, this is the thing. This segment,
Even he doesn't rate
this
it.
segment is
I
full
like
of false
it.
dawns. Just with the one on Friday, I'm thinking maybe he's turned the corner and the jokes are going to have something about him.
That's all right. It's a bit of rain, bit of hail in that. Not bad. Today's the last day. Rabs, don't you fall for it. See, this is where you fall in.
Rabs. Come on, Rabbits.
Come
You're
on.
right. Even he gave up on that.
He did.
He did, didn't he? Admit to